If you might not be local, you might not know about this individual. Goes by the name of Rob Parker. You see him on the thumbnail. Hopefully, if I could get a decent picture of him. But he used to work for one of the news affiliates here in Detroit, I believe, and he was on a radio station. And very similar to Mike Valenti, who is now 97 won a ticket, been there for a while, not a Detroit Lions fan, but a lot to say about our Detroit Lions. And believe it or not, I would assume that that is why 99.9% of the content creators you see today that talk Detroit Lions are here because of people like Mike Valenti, who are not Detroit Lions fans, and Rob Parker, who has a grudge against the Ford organization. You could do some research and find out why on your own. But I got to bring this in, man. And this is him. You know, he does a show called The Odd Couple. It used to be Chris Broussard and him. They did it from 2018. Chris stepped up to bigger and better things and now does a show with Nick Wright of all people. So he left one clown for another. But so now Rob Parker has another host, and his co-host, is actually a Detroit Lions fan. Now, this is not about him, but this is about Rob Parker. And I am sick to death of people talking about my coach, our coach, and my Detroit Lions, our Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell. It annoys me to no end. Here's what Rob had to say about Dan Campbell and what kind of coach he is. This is insane. Check it out.
Dan Campbell, for as much credit and people are all excited about him, I think he's a bad coach, and I think he's worse than Brandon Staley when he was with the Chargers, who got fired. This is reckless. And the reason I say he's a bad coach and ultimately will wind up costing the Lions a chance at the elusive trip to the Super Bowl or even a chance to win it is because what he's doing is unnecessary and putting his team in harm's way. And I'm just saying, you don't want to do that if you don't have to, going for it 4th and 1 inside the 30. I read some stat where no team had done it in 25 years since 2000 had that even been done. And again, you guys who I understand Lions fans, and you're one of them, you love the guy because you endured all the terrible years, okay? I get it. And you're like, oh, they're on the cusp. And this is the guy, he's fearless and this and that. But if you're really honest, Dan Campbell cost you a trip to the Super Bowl last year with the chicanery and all of that. And he's going to do it again. He hasn't learned his lesson. This is unnecessary. This is not Madden. The Lions have a really good team and a chance to win. And the 1 weak spot is Dan Campbell.
This is where you get in trouble, Rob. And this
to be kidding me. This guy, I mean, Rob is officially like, if you are going to argue about something, you have to have a legitimate argument, okay? Now, first of all, let me just say one thing. You know what I hate more than anything else? People who use unnecessary words. Stephen A. Smith does it all the time. We get it, bruh. Your vocabulary, you like to read books. We get it, all right? But Rob Parker used the word chicanery. And chicanery is not the word that goes with what he was trying to say. Here's the definition of chicanery. The use of trickery to achieve a political, financial, or legal purpose. So if Rob Parker was, I guess, assuming he was using the word correctly, Dan Campbell is trying to use trickery to get financial gain. That's the only thing it's not political, it's not legal, so it's got to be what? It makes no sense. So Rob missed me with that. The second thing is he compared our coach to Brandon Staley, okay, who is the now fired coach of the former fire coach of the San Diego or Los Angeles Chargers, who went 24-24. He was 0-1 in the playoffs, a game in which they were up by a tremendous amount against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are currently on pace this season to have another first overall pick. He blew a lead. It was ridiculous. It was like Trevor Lawrence threw 4 interceptions that game, and they still lost. And they were leading by like 30-some-odd points. This is the same guy that was fired this year. He went 24-24 in 3 seasons. You know what Dan Campbell is right now? Dan Campbell is 43-35-1 in 3.5 seasons. That's Dan Campbell's record. At least that's his total record. Need to know, I don't think it's 45 because I don't think we've played 45. So let me see. 32. That's his total record, I believe it is. Detroit Lions, let me see. Dan Campbell record. Lions coach, because I don't think it's that high. Let me see. Dan Campbell with the Lions in the regular season is 41-34. Okay, so that was right. You play 16 games, 17 games a season, so that's 34. We're in season number 4. So, but you're talking about, and Dan Campbell is 2-1 in the playoffs. Rob said he was gonna cost our team a Super Bowl by what he's referring to is the points left on the board by Dan Campbell and his aggressive nature not kicking it. I remember when I was sitting there, and yes, I would argue to take the points. I was saying Thursday in some cases against the Green Bay Packers in Week 14 to take the points. Specifically on that 4th down when we were on our 30-something yard line. Now, I'll get the one at the end. The ones throughout the game, I really didn't matter. It was that one that I was like, okay, Dan, we got to take the points, right? But then I realized that this is our guy. This is who we're going to have to deal with. We're going to have to ride or die with him. I don't agree with every decision he makes, but I understood why he makes them when he does. He last year, I figured that not only did he not trust Michael Badgley like that, he also did not trust the defense. And it is what it is. Even this year, it's not that he doesn't trust the defense. It's that they were out there a long time. We're playing with the mystery men, the guys that were on the street earlier in the week, right? So Rob Parker is a giant clown. He has always been that. He is Mike Valenti 2.0. He might even be the original Mike Valenti. And that is why I'm telling you, man, Mike Valenti is literally the reason that I'm on YouTube. He's 100%. I remember very distinctly calling and listening to 97.1 The Ticket. And even Matt Derry, he used to have a show, I think it was 105.1, 105.9, long time ago. And I was like, and I was just like, I don't like, and Matt Derry is not even a Lions fan. And it annoys me to hear one thing that you might not like all my takes, but I'm a fan of the team, right? I'm a fan of the team. I feel like only fans of a particular team legitimately have the right to talk about their team. I don't think, like Nick Wright, you're not a Lions fan. So you don't really get to talk about my team. You can talk about my team, but does your opinion really matter? You're not a Lions fan. You don't eat, breathe, and sleep everything that they do, right? So Rob Parker is a joke. He has always been that. And he will continue to be that. Whatever it is that he has, whatever grudge he has with the city of Detroit and the Ford family, he needs to find it in himself and try to work that out, man, because you sound dumb. You really do sound that Dan Campbell is the one weakness of the Detroit Lions. Come on, bro. He is why the Detroit Lions are currently the team that they are. Lord, but I tell you what. If I get tired, Rob Parker will keep me going. He really will. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me see. Dan Campbell, 17 games in a regular season, because this is going to drive me crazy. So 2 seasons is 34. We're in season number 4. So 3 seasons would be 51. And then he is we've played, 13 games. So that's 51, 54. So, yeah, that can't be. Because, let me see. 34, 51. It's 3 seasons. Then we're in the 4th season, and he's played. It's going to drive me crazy. That's going to drive me crazy because he was. All right, hold on. Just stay with me. 17, 17, 34, another 17. That is 51. We've played 13 so far, so that is now 64. And then if you add the 3 playoff games, that is 67. 67, but it says that Dan Campbell is, what does it say? 67 games. He is, but that is 75 games. So that's not his record with the Detroit Lions. That's not his record with the Detroit Lions. But you guys can do the math. We went 3-13-1. That can't be his record with the Detroit Lions. All of it. Because I just counted, 79 games. So that has to take into account his time with the Miami Dolphins. Anyway, he has a much better record than Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley was 50%, 0-1 in the playoffs. Rob Parker needs to get some help. He really does. Let it go, bro. Stop it. Get some help. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And somebody put in there because I could do the math, but this is one take and I don't want to go back. You know what I'm saying? And then if I make a fool of myself, then I got to go and re-record it. So put it in the comment section below. What is Dan Campbell's current record with the Detroit Lions? Let me know. And let me know your thoughts on Rob Parker as well. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.